Hey everybody. Uh, I just wanted to come on for a second to talk to you guys a little bit about, um, uh, you know, uh, what it is to be a druid and why that is, um, you know, not as difficult as of a task as many people would think it would be. One of the things you have to remember is that being a druid is um, something that you are being called to do. Um, and with the Druids today, there are so many people who walk around in their robes and their Renaissance attire, and everybody and their grandmother just call themselves a Druid. But interestingly enough, and you'll even have people that go around saying, I'm the last Druid, and all this kind of stuff. Okay, a couple things to remember. First of all, if you feel called to being a druid, there's a calling, right? And the way you figure out the call is if you look back on your life and you see evidence of being introduced to it. All right. And for a lot of people, it might not happen until they're in their 50s. For some, it might happen in their 40s, and some in their teens. It doesn't the call doesn't discriminate against color or creed or you know um, color, creed, belief. It doesn't discriminate. Anybody could be a druid. Um, so what is it? Druids are people who believe today in, at least from what I feel my call is, and my call to teach is, and that is to express the Druids are people who would say that one believes in a Druidic tetrachonomy, a heart, a soul, a mind, and a spirit. They believe in the strength and the vision, the courage and the wisdom to move forward and not be stuck in any sort of um, historical pain, that we move forward regardless. Um, and more so, I think it's about reaching higher levels of academia and ability. You know, not only can one, uh, you know, say live in the forest and have that ability, have the skills needed for that, but also, do you have an ability, an interest in philosophy, in deeper psychology, perhaps even Jungian? Do you have, you know, um, interest in grammar and linguistics, architecture, and even archaeology? You know, I think that these are some of the things that you want to think about when we start talking about Druidism, because we cannot continue to say that one is or is not a druid based on based on what one tells them to be. For example, how many times do people tell us at the Druid Circle that we weren't real Druids? And then we came back and fired back with a really incredible response now that everybody's using, even though we trademarked it. We call it true Druidism because we're not real Druids. We're not fake Druids. We're true Druids. And that simply means that we do not necessarily, we may, but we don't know whether or not we follow some sort of a lineage. Many of us, and you'll hear all these people say, well, I'm a true Celt and I'm a true, this, or I'm a true that. Druidism reaches and goes beyond ethnicity. It goes beyond ethnicity because there is no direct I would say it's like saying you're Catholic, if you will. Well, anybody could be a Catholic, right? Um, Even in the Jewish faith, you have German Jews and you have Spanish Jews, right? So it's more of a universal sort of belief. It's very esoteric. It's a cult, but I want to use the word occult in a way that isn't necessarily focusing on something hidden. Occult simply means undiscovered knowledge, just like magic means undiscovered science. And so, as a result of this, you end up with people who are walking around with these fancy dancy robes and these hair pieces and things like that. And look, I mean, they want to do that. That's fine, but d- d- you people who look like me and people who might wear a cap or just sitting in their car giving a blog or giving a talk is awesome, and I would say that they're probably more genuine than people who are always taking pictures of their stole. And I'm like, why would you even take a picture of your stole when that's Christianity? I mean, and I'm not saying anything about bad about Christianity. I'm just saying Druidism is completely different. It would be like asking a rabbi to wear a crucifix. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't necessarily mean we think more or less. It just means that we think the way we do. So if you want to be a druid, it's more about evaluating those steps that brought you to where you're at today. Obviously, if you have interest and you want to, be part of the Druid Circle, please do. We're on Facebook, we're online, thedruidcircle.org. If you're interested in joining a religious order and you want something a little bit more, more simple, more traditional, you could go to druidorder.org and druiduniversity.org, which is all coming soon in a few years. But I would say that more importantly, you don't even have to do that. There's no forcing, there's no evangelization in Druidism. You either know it or you don't. Period. End of sentence. There is no, well, somebody asked me to be a Druid. The only people, I would say, or more beyond, that would ask you to be a Druid would be the kindred, the mysticals, fae, the ancestors, those people that have gone before, or the deity or deities of your understanding. And I know a lot of people who call themselves Druids and are Odinists. That's fine, completely okay. But as long as you feel that the call was something that brought you to a place that you are today because of the experiences of your past. Being a Druid isn't something that many people are. There are very few of us. I believe that I am. I do. Because it isn't, and the problem is no one's there to tell you. I mean, obviously, if you're part of a religious order, the founder or the person can say, yes, you're a Druid. But the problems today in a lot of these neo-pagan sort of groups would be that they don't even know themselves whether they're Druids or not, and a lot of them are just universal Unitarians. We're not universal Unitarians. The Druid, if you will, faith is one designed for you by those beyond you. Okay? And I think that really, truly is the method of it. And that doesn't mean you have to delineate. And I know other people, especially people I look up to, like Thomas Sheridan and whatnot. I try to mention him at least once in every video because I truly look up to that man. But I would say this, and I do believe he's Druid. But and we have our disagreements. I mean, but I don't believe that you have to give up your previous belief to be a Druid. You don't have to say, I denounce blank, to do this. No, it doesn't really work like that. You absorb it. It's sort of like I would say transversion versus conversion, where you add the new and keep some of the old. You don't have to give everything up. And I think that that's something that one would think about. And there's some tough things that even I know that I won't say yet because it's not where I'm at. I'm not ready to give that truth out. But I would say that there are certain things that you would benefit from knowing that there are people that are interested, and don't be swindled by some of these organizations who are going to get you $100 a pack for information, or going to sell you their Harry Potter book of Druidry, or they're going to come out and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm the arch druid of druids, and or I'm the Merlin of Merlins, and I'm the only one, and you need to learn from me. That they're called narcissists. I would never tell you that. As a druid, I would tell you I'm the farthest leastest, if you will, person to guide you in being a druid. I say that not because I want to devalue me, but because the God or gods of your understanding are so much more powerful than you and me. You can learn from anybody, and it would be cool to have a spiritual director or an anakara. But, at the same time, I also think that you would benefit from, if you, like I said, if you want to join an order or join a university or just do something like that, you could. But you could learn most of this stuff on the tube, and until the tube takes it off and decides that it's not, that it's not enough this or not enough that. I would say that for those of you that are new to this path, please know that it is easier than you think. All you have to do is investigate and dig into you to find out whether or not this is your path or not. For those of you that think that this is what you're called to do, I would say you don't necessarily have to give up what you believe to continue this. Mostly what druids do is they interpret the vision, the strength, the courage, and the wisdom of the people. And so as a druid, it would be good to know many types of belief systems. Not that we're universal Unitarians, but it would be good to know that so that you can strengthen what they believe to be true. Druids don't necessarily going around saying you need to believe in the God Lu, or you need to believe in this God or that God, or my God's better than your God. We don't do any of that stuff. We go around, we ask you what you believe, and we help you understand you better through the God or gods of your understanding, through the pantheon or pantheons of your understanding and your own belief. It isn't something where we go around evangelizing. That's not what we do. We believe that if it's meant to be, it happens and people come to you. But I will say that if you want to be a druid, I would watch my videos. You could watch them on Facebook now that they're up again. You go back. Be careful. A lot of the things, remember that the Druid Circle is a direct reformation to Arendreok Fane or ADF, which is now not even our own Druidism or Druidry. It's now our own paganism. So it's really whatever. It's so out there that I have no clue what it is anymore. But if you really want to be true to Druidism, focus on the Druids. Focus on the Druids. Stay away from books that, with the exception of some really good writers, like I said, and even open source TV is pretty good. But I would definitely stay away from anything written in the past 10 years, because all it is rehashings of old things. It's rehashings of old things. And then you get people out there saying they're the last druid, they're this, they're that, they're this kind of shaman, they're this kind of mystic, and that's fine. But I would venture to say those people who are true to druidism are pretty humble. They don't go around saying I'm the Merlin of Merlins, or the Wizard of Wizards, or the Grand Poopah of Grand Poopahs, or the chief of this tribe or that tribe. They go around and they're simply regular people. With that, my name is Druid Nicholas Declan, founder of the Druid Circle, founder of the Druid Order of Bloodstone Wood, founder of Druid University. And I hope that while you watch me for a few minutes daily, I will be adding more of these on. But I do want to say this: you're not alone. And remember that if you go to a group and you find that group political and not your kind of political, then it's saying, okay, then it's time to go somewhere else. I don't want you to believe that the whole world is of druids are liberal. There's basically just I would say just basically 3% of us that are conservative. So don't not become a druid for you, not because of anything else. And if you feel uncomfortable being someplace, then don't go. Go to places that you feel comfortable. And if you have to leave and go somewhere else where you feel more comfortable, do that. Look at me. I had to leave. You know, they told me basically go back to where you came from, and I did. I loved it. I went back to where I came from, and that is doing my own thing. So yeah. So you could start watching some of my stuff if you want, or you could also look at some of the videos I put up here. Not many are up here, but I am going to start doing more, because I think it's really important to get out that I'm here to let you guys know that there are others out there, and also know that um, remember it's beyond us, and I think that a lot of us are connecting now, seeing that. Girauen, be it thus, be it thus.